So if there are any or
wow,
he's gonna know.
Everyone just turned it off.
3, 2, 1,
Welcome to A Work in Progress with Mark and Pete.
I'm Pete.
I'm Mark.
And we're doing a podcast.
We are.
What number is this?
9?
This might be 9.
I think this is 9.
Kind of a big deal.
It's kind of imagine when we get to 10.
Bro, double dig.
I mean, it's only a week away.
Double digis. It's very exciting.
There's
A lot of people cringed at me just saying double digis.
Double digis.
Probably one being if my brother listens. I saw a video today about a guy saying that of podcasters, 1% make it past episode 2.
Seriously.
And of that 1%,
Wait a minute. 1% of podcasters make it past episode 2.
yeah, because if you think of most people like saying like, oh, we're going to start a podcast, they just quit. It's just
it's just like a one-time thing.
Yeah, maybe it was 10%. It might have been 10%. But then there was another one where it was like, of that, let's say it was 10%, because I can't remember exactly. Of that 10%, only like another 10% or 1 to 10% make it to 21, make it past 20.
Really?
So
I wonder why that.
it's just consistency, and people like, like this would be fun, but they don't stick with it.
Yeah.
Just like anything, like, oh, I'm going to read this book, and you just don't.
You get to page 21 and you stop.
Exactly. So if we get to episode 21, apparently we are in like the
we're the elite
top tier
podcasters then.
of like perseverance.
Wow. Can we say that we're professionals?
I think so.
At that point?
I would like to.
Once we get to episode 22.
I mean, we got a setup now.
We do.
Cool. We're eventually going to paint.
Yeah.
Like we have lights. We have microphone covers.
Yeah.
We have these cool stands that look like people that our professionals have.
That's right.
We're not professional, but we couldn't appear to be. Right?
That's right.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. We'll paint the walls at some point. Purple is my favorite color.
Looks good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But yeah, so I mean, once we get to episode 21, we'll have to like throw like a podcast party or something.
A pod party. Sure.
Pod party. Partycast.
Yeah. I like it.
Poddycast.
Pottycast? Doesn't sound great.
It doesn't sound great.
No.
Not at all. But it is fun chatting with you.
Yeah,
and I can do that 21 times at least.
That's why I genuinely think like this is fine. And I know we've said it before, but we can have 2 listeners and it's fine with me.
You and me.
Yeah, us listening to ourselves.
That's right.
But like, I just want to chat with you on a regular basis anyways.
Yeah.
So like, this is like therapeutic and fun and enjoyable. And it's also entertaining and lighthearted and like, dude, all the things. Like, to have.
It is.
I think I'm so spoiled. I think more, especially like grown men, could use somebody to talk to on a regular basis.
Oh, without a doubt.
That has a good baseline of who they are and understands their struggles and can somewhat relate because you're also like a peer. You're a little bit older, a little bit wiser. But in general, you're a peer. And all the pastors I've grown up with as a kid are like, like they're in their 50s, 60s when I'm a teenager. It's like, I appreciate what you have to say to me, but you also don't know what, like, you're not on my level currently, right?
And a lot of pastors, their mentality is like to not be approachable necessarily.
Yeah, that can be that feel a lot of times. Yeah. Not always, and every church is different, all pastors are different. But in general, it's just good to have somebody who's like, can relate.
And I love that I can just have like a friend.
Yeah.
Like pastors rarely have friends.
Yeah.
Like a pastor that has a friend, that's like special.
That's pretty cool.
That's special. Like a friend who's not a pastor.
Yeah.
But like who still listens to me and understands and is willing to have conversations. Like that is like, if you're a pastor watching this, like how special that is.
I think we got something pretty cool.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Speaking of pastoring, I wanted to bring up, it's Holy Week.
It is Holy Week.
Today is Monday, Thursday.
Yeah, when we're recording it is, yeah.
It's like been a weird day. You know how all days have kind of like have a feel?
Yeah.
Like it feels like a Monday or whatever. Today, this morning, it felt like a Monday to me. And I brought that up to the morning workout class, and a couple other people were like, yeah, it feels like a weird day today. And I didn't even plan this, but I was like, it does feel kind of like Monday. because it did.
Monday.
And I was like, but it is Monday, Thursday. And like
Sweet
it was 5
sport.
a.m. and everyone was just like crickets. So I was like, I get it. It's
That's
early.
better.
Plus, I don't know if half of them know what Monday, Thursday even is.
What is Monday, Thursday?
Yeah, but
It feels like a Monday.
so tell me a little bit about what like a pastor life, what your life is like different this week than a regular week. I'm sure it's busier.
I mean, it's a little bit busier, but I mean, at least I try to go through the rhythms that I encourage the congregation to go through. So this week should be a week of preparation, a week of surrender, and a week of relying on the Lord. And so those are practices that should be done in the life of every believer.
Did you bring us
including
waters?
Pastor. I got you a water. I got you. I wanted you to have
I
a
don't know.
water.
You know how they say like the only time guys get flowers is at their funeral? And it's like really depressing. And then make people are like, oh, I should get a guy flowers. It's like, you should, first of all, get your guys flowers.
That's right.
I was like, this, like you just put a water here for me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
this
wanted
is
you to
the
have a water.
nicest thing anyone's ever done for me.
I just wanted you to know
but
that I
definitely
love
makes
you.
it makes me feel great. So thank you for this.
I just spilled water all over
Oh
myself.
my goodness gracious.
Can't take me anywhere.
Again, stop watching this live
That's
or
right.
on the video and just listen to it.
Oh, this is I'm in shambles.
We're just two guys spilling water.
Spilling
Should I
water.
Spill on me too. I got a stain on my
That
sweat on
makes
my
me
hoodie.
feel better. Thanks.
I got a stain right here because I'm just an adult father with children.
It happens.
And messes. And the car is always going to be messy, and
Yeah.
I've accepted it.
So many of my shirts have spit up on them right now.
Yeah. Well, you got a newborn essentially still.
Yeah, it would be weird if I didn't have a newborn and had spit up on me. So there's that.
How old is? I have a question, and then we're gonna go back to Monday, Thursday, and Holy Week.
Sounds good.
'Cause I don't want to go away. But when would you consider a newborn to no longer be a newborn? Like what age?
For some reason, 3 months. I don't know why.
I think that feels right.
Yeah.
I think that feels right because you're so tiny still.
Yeah,
At like 2 months and change,
exactly.
you're still so tiny. I would say. I think
Like at 3 months, you're getting some serious girth.
Yeah, you're getting
Mhm.
a little thick.
Yeah.
You're getting a little bit of weight, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think 3 months is probably correct.
Yeah. Annabelle is getting weight. Like so the doctors have her on like this high calorie diet. and so like, but it's all going to her cheeks.
Oh yeah.
So her cheeks are just like exploding.
Is she swallowing the food?
That's right.
just
I'm
packaging
going to open
it
up her mouth and it's going to come pouring out.
Yeah, she's just hiding it, holding it for later. You can eat that. There'll be more food, Annabelle.
That's right. You
You
don't
can
have to
eat it
save
now.
it.
It'll be fine. Trust us.
That's right.
I know we don't look like you, but eat it.
That's so funny.
I don't know. These guys are sketchy.
They don't look like me.
Oh man.
That's funny.
Anyway, so Holy Week.
So Holy Week. So try to go through the same rhythms as everybody else, and have those times of contemplation and have those times of quiet and rest and surrender and those prayers of reliance and then also just reading through the passage and spending Thursday dwelling on the Last Supper and everything that encapsulates, and then Friday going through the story of the crucifixion and dwelling in that. There's the logistics of having additional services and things like that. And
Are you just
Ready.
adding one, like the Good Friday one?
we're just doing a Good Friday service and an Easter
the
Sunday
normal.
service.
It's
yeah.
a normal Sunday service time.
Yeah, normal
Okay.
Sunday service time. Yeah, so we just have the additional, and it's just a family service on
Yeah.
Good Friday. But so there's those logistics of volunteers and things like that. But the most important part is that my heart is in Passion Week, along with the congregation's heart in Passion Week.
Yeah.
So
Do you know what Monday means?
I should.
I don't know what it means.
I should.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Is it? No, because I was thinking of when Jesus is riding the donkey, but that's Palm Sunday, right? When they put
Yeah.
all the palm branches down.
Yeah.
That was last Sunday.
Yeah. I want to read you something
Okay.
real quick. So you stall while I pull it up.
Oh, okay. So what do you call a dog that can do magic?
What do you call a dog that can do magic?
A labracadabrador.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Tell me another one.
I recently found out that I can cut wood just by looking at it.
Mm,
You might not believe me, but I saw it with my own two eyes.
I saw it.
Yeah, it's bad.
That was good. That was good.
pretty bad.
That was good.
The worse they are, the better they are.
Man, I'm having trouble finding this.
What are you trying to find?
A poem.
A poem.
Yeah, that I think is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with Easter.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I recently saw a mother who had been doing like dad jokes online.
mhm.
She was like, I'm not even a dad, but I'm doing dad jokes. And the lady, she's like, yeah. She's like, I'm a faux pas.
That's funny. All right, I have it here.
Okay, we got there.
Ready? Can I read it to you?
Please.
Amidst the lilies and the springtime breeze comes a day of celebration, a day of peace. For Christ has risen, triumphant and free, and all of creation joins in jubilee. The cross once stood, a symbol of pain, but now it's empty, a victory gained. Death could not hold him, he broke every chain, and now we too can rise again. The tomb is empty, the stone is rolled away. The darkness of sin has been turned to day. For Christ has conquered, he's the life, the way, and now we too can boldly say, we are free, we are forgiven. By his grace we are now living. In the light of his love our hearts are driven to serve and worship him who's risen. So let us lift our voices high, in praise and adoration let us cry, Hosanna to the King who lives alive, for he has triumphed, he has arrived. Easter is a reminder of God's great love that sent his Son from heaven above to save us all and bring us home to live with him forevermore. Good poem, right?
That was outstanding.
Can I tell you something? This is crazy, and this might lead to a different area of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But that was written by that Chat GPT.
Whoa.
So the AI generator.
Yeah.
So like I write a Christian poem about Easter, and this AI thing wrote this poem.
That is wild.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
I
don't think I like that very much.
It's fishy.
I don't care for it personally.
But it's just, oh my word. And I've been messing around with this Chat GPT, and it's crazy what it can do.
Yeah. Yeah, you sent me kind of like a mini sermonette.
Yeah,
that
it wrote.
Speaking of, I have to do a wedding tomorrow.
Ooh, tomorrow?
Well, actually, the wedding rehearsal is tomorrow. And the wedding is on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So I should just Chat GPT my
you
opening
just chat
prayer.
Say, hey, yeah.
What, you have an iPhone?
I do.
What? Because there's like 100 apps. Is there actually one that says Chat GPT, or like which one did you do?
I think there is, but you have to pay for the app. I just did it online. They have a website. That's
like a website on your laptop?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I tried a couple.
Yeah.
And it was all like you had to pay for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but paying for apps on my phone, even if it would help me tremendously, I won't give up $2.99 for an app that could change my life, because there's some sort of like principle of like it should be free.
That's right.
Like, I will babysit your kids. This app is like, I will babysit your children and allow you to, do whatever you want with your life. I'll fold your laundry. Wait, I got to pay $1.99 for this app?
Wait a minute.
Just let me watch ads. Just let me skip through ads and wait for the little X to pop up. I'll stare at it for 10 seconds, find the hidden X.
Oh, it's so hidden, man. You can never find it.
And then, is that it? It's it's about the same shade as everything else. I think that's, now it takes me to the landing page.
Landing page for the app.
Oh, man. I'd rather have that happen than enter my credit card information.
Then spend $1.99 for an app to watch your kids.
Which 2 years ago, now with inflation, is actually like 25 cents. It's the principle. I won't do it.
Dude, there's gonna be like AI babysitters.
Dude, I'm
crazy.
The funny thing is, in probably just a few years, this conversation will be laughable. You'll be like, "Oh, this thing was Chat GPT."
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
You're like, "Oh, remember when Chat GPT was a thing?
First came out
before we had robots in our house that did everything for us,
and we thought Chat GPT was so cool."
Yeah, that is interesting
or scary.
Because you could have I'm pretty sure, like not long, you could have AI just like write novels.
Oh,
like, hey, come up with a really cool or original thought idea of a new, like,
well, that's what I was thinking, like
a Lord of the Rings.
So with this poem, I legitimately consider like posting it online and like citing like ChatGPT at the bottom.
Well, technically, since you put in the prompts,
is
that your poem?
That's what I don't know. I think you still have to like cite it.
It's definitely not yours, but because the internet wrote it, but like it didn't exist before you searched or entered this stuff.
Like it was created because of me. I created it. I mean, sure, with the AI's help. So maybe it should be like by Mark Burkholder and ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Interesting.
But yeah, but like that sermonette I sent you like a sermonette for Palm Sunday, and it was fantastic.
It was very good. I could tell, because I did read it, I could tell there was a little bit of inorganic
clunkiness.
There's
a little bit of clunkiness.
You could tell it was kind of,
Yeah.
It wasn't as smooth as like a human could do.
Yeah.
But overall, like the flow, like the topics and the wording and stuff like that, it was good.
But and like if I just preached that, like I don't think you'd know.
Probably
I don't
not.
think you'd know. And that's why I was telling my dad, like, there's so many preachers out there who aren't very gifted in preaching, and like that was a better like I'd feel comfortable someone preaching that sermon at a Bible study for our church or something like that.
Yeah.
And so he was like, maybe it's going to make pastors lazy, and I was like, maybe it will. Maybe it'll just raise the quality of preaching too.
Do better. Yeah, I think the trade-off is like performance or execution could be better, but your creative juices and organic original thought processes are going to suffer because you don't have to work that muscle.
Oh yeah.
But like you might have phenomenal sermons, but since you're not like putting in the effort, you're just proofreading what the internet wrote for you.
Yeah.
Those muscles will die.
And that's where like using it that way struggles.
Yeah.
But like some other ways that I've used it are like create a video idea for this. So I legitimately did write a trailer for A Work in Progress by Mark and Pete. And it gave me like this awesome trailer of like what to say. Okay. And it was like really good. But other ways that I think it's best used is, so I used it like, how do you play this game? And it gave me the detailed instructions real quick. Or
I should use it for like how to edit shorts and TikToks and
Reels it'll totally
and stuff,
give you,
because
instead of searching the internet, like you just put it there and it gives it to you. Wow. I put in how does a car work, because I don't know how a car works, and it gave me like I kind of understand how a car works now.
That's pretty cool,
because it like generated this thing. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
But I'm done geeking out now.
No, I think it's very fascinating. It's just whenever there's new things,
scary.
It's always the fear of what if the worst should happen, which essentially is Terminator. Humans versus machines at the end of it all.
Yeah. But anyways, going back to Holy Week.
Oh my, right.
So this week is an awesome week for Christianity. It's a celebration and a culmination of hope. It's the week. Yeah.
It's like, even if Christ was born, if there is no crucifixion and resurrection, it was all for naught.
Absolutely. So
pretty cool.
So I think Christianity has kind of put itself in a box a little bit with like what Easter is, and can I vent a little bit?
Go.
So I don't know how big of an audience this is for, but it's for me.
Yeah.
It frustrates me how churches do Easter services.
Explain.
At least non-denom churches type thing.
I've never been to a non-denom. Well, maybe in Cuba. I think we probably did when we were in Cuba.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I've grown up Wells Lutheran my whole life.
So is like a Lutheran service the same as any other service pretty much?
No.
Or how is it different? Is it a different liturgy, or how's it different?
It's definitely more, especially like the Easter service, the ones I grew up in, they have like trumpets and like real trumpets.
Oh, wow.
Like one, it's full. The church is full. That's different. But like the music is like, what I like about the Easter service is they usually pick hymns and songs that everybody knows, and they know them because everyone loves them.
Yeah.
What frustrates me about church in general, and at least where like the church I was in, is they almost like, there was like one or two decent hymns, usually in a normal well service, there's like 3 hymns.
Mm-hmm.
And usually like one of them is like a good one that people know. And the other 2 are like, they're trying to just like make it through all 500 hymns throughout the calendar year. And they're just like punching these hymns into your face of like, the melody is no good. Nobody knows the tune or the words. It's not fun to sing along to. And people are like all out of pitch because we never sing it. We sing it once every 2 years or something.
You're trying to guess
no
how
fun.
it goes.
But like when you're in Easter service, it's like, I know that my Redeemer lives. And everyone's like, yeah, I know this one.
That's fun.
And so there's definitely like so much, like you can feel the joy
There's
in the
more
presence.
excitement.
And it's like bright. All the colors are like white and it's just jovial.
Jovial.
Is that the word?
That's a word.
It's jovial.
It's a good word.
Yeah.
So coming from like a staff guy that's been on staff at churches, this week it tends to be exhausting, especially like creative directors and worship pastors and stuff like that, because you try to do everything and like make it the coolest, most unique experience out of anything. And so your service structure is totally different. You have the most elaborate worship teams. You do have the flashiest videos. You try to do new things with your light shows, everything. Like, so you try to put on the biggest and best show.
It's a show. Yeah.
It's a show. And it's always, you try to do the best one for Easter. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
No, the frustrating part is that like the reason is because we're going to have visitors there, and we want them to see that church is a great, cool place and fun, and then they'll come back next week. The problem is,
and then they'll wonder
come back next week.
This isn't like it was last
Wait a minute.
week. All the lights are in the trash bin outside.
That's right. And generally the week after Easter is such a dud because everybody's burnt out from the Easter week.
Makes total sense.
So you've used up all your volunteers, so you don't have any volunteers, so you just have like your C team,
Skeleton
worship team
crew.
up there.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying not to do that this year.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it all manageable and make it look like a regular service, but still have the excitement of Easter.
Yeah. I think that's good.
And I think the excitement of Easter is natural. Like, I don't think you have to do much to make it feel like that's like manipulate. Like, I don't want to manipulate to be excited.
Yeah. It should feel organic.
Yeah.
And I think I did get that from my church services growing up.
Yeah.
And I should say the layout of the service was the same. Like, they didn't change everything. It wasn't like, which church is this? Like, where am I? It was just like upbeat, fun hymns that everybody knew. Yeah. Somebody would play trumpet up in the upstairs.
Man,
and
we got to get a trumpet.
Dude, it's so fun.
Where would they would like go in the balcony or something?
Yeah,
and
in the
play
balcony
trumpet?
and play trumpet. Yeah.
During the worship.
Yeah, like with the hymns. Yeah, at the side.
That's
It's
awesome.
good stuff. Yeah. And people are just like belting it. So it's like, Jesus is alive. This is what's up. Like everyone's just like happy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But the layout is like the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one of the churches that I grew up in, we'd have a bagpiper playing Amazing Grace out in the parking lot. That was
I've
pretty cool.
never seen a bagpipe player in real life.
Really?
Only on videos or like
They all live in
TV.
Maine.
They all live in Maine. That's why we've never seen them.
That's why I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's also where the I can't remember the name of it. What's that like mega shark?
Oh, I don't know.
That like monster shark lives off the coast of Maine, and also
Like in real life?
no, I'm saying because nobody's ever seen it.
All right.
We lost each other here. Let's bring it back.
I thought there was actually like a monster shark out there
I
that
can't
I
think
didn't
of
know
the
about.
name. I wanted to say like Megalodon. That might even be it.
Oh, that could be it.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
I doubt
That could be
myself too much with.
Isn't there's that movie Megan? Is that
Megan?
Megan? Isn't that a shark movie?
No.
It's not.
No, it's
What
not.
is that?
Megan, like the recent one?
I don't know. Is there a new movie called Megan?
Yeah, it's a new horror movie. There's a new horror movie like within the last year called Megan, and it's actually related to AI.
Oh no. Oh no.
Do you know what it's about?
ChatGPT. What?
This mom,
Not a shark, I'll take
I've
it.
never seen it. I just saw previews. But this mom like develops this like life-size doll for her daughter to be her friend.
Oh, it's that one?
Yeah, to be her friend. And she like basically ends up like, it's a family podcast basically, but offing
bad
anybody
things.
who doesn't, who like threatens her daughter, like finishes them.
Unlives.
And then, and then I think basically the plot is like by the end, like her mom who designed the doll thing is like worried for her daughter's safety, but the robot was designed to keep her safe.
Yeah.
So now her mom's even a threat to her daughter.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's probably like how it ends. Again, I didn't see it, but it's actually seemed very intriguing. But I rarely dabble in the horror movie realm.
Man, it all starts with writing Easter poems and then technology, and all of a sudden you're making robots to protect your kids. People are disappearing.
Yeah.
Man, it happens. I was a pastor's kid growing up. PK. I was a missionary kid before that.
MK.
That's
playing Mario Kart. TK.
That's right.
Yep.
And so I've grown up in church culture. And so I don't know. What are you looking at?
The Columbia sign is a swastika, bro.
No, it's not.
Isn't it? Tell me it's not.
There's similarities I can see.
It's definitely like in there.
It's gonna fold that over.
I was like, why does that like?
Why would you make your logo that similar?
It's too close.
It's too similar.
It's too close. I might look at who started that company. Was it Colombia or Germany?
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. My ADHD brain is just like, we have lost all focus. What were we
Mark's
talking
wearing an
about?
offensive symbol on his chest.
No, he's definitely not. No, it's just Columbia. It's just
the Columbia logo.
Just the name brand.
So I grew up in church culture. So I've just always been behind the curtain, if you will. This is a weird question, but what is like Holy Week like for like a normal person?
Annoying.
Yeah.
You got to go to church more. As a kid.
And you have to.
As a child, like a teenager and stuff too. It's like, we would have Wednesday Lenten services every week during Lent.
During Lent, yeah.
So you're like, oh, I got to go to church twice a week now.
Oh, man.
My parents are going to be upset. But it was cool because at least we had Lenten dinners that were free for people that were into church.
Yeah.
Afterwards, they would have a gathering and dinner would be served to everybody. Yeah. So it's like, well, at least you got a free meal out of it. But when you're a teenager, most of your meals are free because you have parents that feed you, hopefully. So it wasn't as big of a boost. But like nowadays, I'd be like, oh, we're going on Wednesday for this free food, baby. I was joking a little bit about the annoyance, but it's definitely, I think it brings you back to, or it gets you out of the cycle of monotony, which is good.
Yeah.
Because you can go to church every Sunday for 6 months and you're kind of just going through the motions.
Yeah.
And that happens. It's not a good thing, but it happens. And then when Holy Week comes around, you're like, oh snap, Good Friday and Easter, like it almost forces a reflection, which I think is not force in a negative way, in a positive way. Like it takes you to a different part of your spiritual brain and be like, oh, that's right. Like this is why we do all these things. And this is why we believe what we believe. And this is why it's so important. Like it brings back the importance of it all.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit of a bummer that it's like once or twice a year. I think Christmas and Easter do that. Christmas, you're just like, oh man, yeah, like this is what it's about. Yeah. And then same thing with Good Friday and Easter. You're like, yeah, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
But maybe it wouldn't work if we did it more often because it's kind of like less is more sometimes.
Yeah.
So if that was every week, of like boom, 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 it wouldn't hold as much weight. Again, holding weight sometimes sounds negative, but I really am talking in a positive light of like, it's good reflection and good contemplation and remembering why we're believe what we believe.
Yeah. And I think so. And I think that's part of my struggle with it is, so I understand that. And I understand the value of having those moments where we're refocused and re-engaged. But if Easter Sunday is the best it could be, like, shouldn't we do that every week? Like, shouldn't that be what Sundays are? And I get that it might lose its flavor or how special it is. But I think there's value in having that regular reminder of what it's about.
I would, just because this is on the top of my head right now, I feel like because every Sunday feels so similar, it's like saying the Lord's Prayer. Like, you can say the Lord's Prayer while you're doing 6 other things. Or at least I can at this point, because we've said it since I was a kid. Like, there's no thought process in it unless I intentionally think about it. And Easter and Christmas is essentially the same thing as, I should think about every word of the Lord's Prayer as I'm saying it instead of just thinking it. Whereas every other Sunday is just, singing the same hymn again, hearing a new message with a different joke. It's all those things that is, you can go into autopilot and be thinking about your whole week and what happened last week and what you're doing this week while the whole service is going on. And that's what's going on in your head, except during usually Easter and Christmas, or like if there's some unique twist. And the tough part is, that's just, in my opinion, that's just modern humanity. Is like, we're so easily distractible. Our attention span is short. It's like a modern problem, I would say, because you shouldn't have to put on a circus act, like a show, to entertain people every Sunday in a new way so that you have their attention. That's not really fair, and it shouldn't be. But I do feel like that's part of what the situation is.
And that's where, like, so from a pastor's perspective, like, that's where you wrestle with, is it my job to entertain? Is it my job to get their attention? Or is it my job to communicate and trust the Holy Spirit to do what they do? And so that's where the tension is. But yeah, I've always been curious about, like, even like, we called them creasters growing up. A lot of people just go to Christmas and Easter. Some people call them CEOs, Christmas, Easter only. So like the people that like adamantly go to church on Christmas and Easter, but no other time throughout the year. Like, I've always wondered, what is that motivation there? Is it a tradition? Is it guilt? Is it a genuine, I want to go to church? Like, I don't know. I've always been curious about that.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. And I don't know, because I've obviously seen that growing up. But the way I was raised is like, you go to Sunday church every week unless you're sick. Or like something else, or there's a huge snowstorm, you can't get out the driveway. Like, you're gone. You're just going. But it's just like the gym too, is once you're in that habit, like, it feels weird if you don't do it. But for people who don't do it, it's hard to get into that habit. Right. So, if their habit is twice a year, that's just, I think it's habitual probably.
And I mean, I get it. I mean, everybody's in a different place in their spiritual journey, and I'm ecstatic for the people that come on Christmas and Easter. That's awesome that they come. So I'm excited for Easter. And Good Friday. I think Good Friday gets a bad rap, but Good Friday gets a
bad rap.
Yeah, I mean, for years the church has focused so much on like being like, it feels, I don't know, at least the Good Friday services I've been a part of, it feels like a funeral. And I could get it, like, Jesus died on the cross, that's the reason for it. But there's so much beauty in Good Friday. like the example of love and grace and compassion that was shown on us on Friday is profound. And I mean, and it should leave us hope filled and life given, not just somber and sad. And there's a place for that too. But
I was bummed when they got rid of this like huge sound machine that they had for our Black Friday, Good Friday. It feels the same.
It does.
It does feel like a Black
The
Friday.
amount of times those two get confused.
Yeah. Good Friday.
Getting good deals is really good.
good deals.
Like
is
that's
really
a good Friday too.
It's a good Black Friday, and there's a Black Good Friday. When I was a kid at our church, we would do like the whole, like Passion of the Christ, essentially, like Garden of Gethsemane, like the rooster crows, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things was, the curtain rips.
Yeah.
And there's like this huge like sound, like noise, like rattling, like thunder, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they used to use like a tin sheet or like aluminum or something, and they would put a speaker by it and like shake it, and it would be like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr," like super loud and like almost scary. But like you could like feel the presence of it. You're like, oh wow, like this is real. Like trying to kind of put you in the mindset of where they were that day. And then I think because the church I grew up at, like the median age, at least when I was there, of attenders was like 65, and I was a teenager, and I didn't bring it down because there's a strong 65 to 95 group. That's like 2/3 of the congregation. And I think people were like, it's too loud.
It's too loud. It's too aggressive.
It's too loud. And so they got rid of it. And
They switched to card stock.
Yeah. I can't remember if they did they just like did a push button YouTube sound thing that was a lot quieter.
Unfortunate when the ad comes up.
One person ruins it for everybody. Yeah. The Burger King one.
Yeah, and then the rooster crowed.
Oh man.
What are you having for dinner tonight?
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So it's a busy week, but it's a good week.
Yeah.
Good week.
It's good.
And so what we do Palm Sunday, Easter Sunday, and then Great Commission Sunday. So the Sunday after Easter for us is always Great Commission Sunday.
Okay.
And we focus on the Great Commission, where we're called to go and make disciples, and go out and we highlight our missionaries and things like that. So we try to make all three of those Sundays special Sundays. Obviously Easter's the biggest.
Yeah.
And the most participation, but
yeah.
Yeah. It's Holy Week.
Yep.
It's Holy Week.
Those poor surrounding Sundays. It's like that kid who has a birthday right by Christmas.
I just missed it.
It's like, your birthday is Commission Sunday. So everyone's going to be caring about Easter. But
there's not going to be a lot of people at your party.
But nobody's coming to your party.
Nobody's coming to your party.
And everyone's getting you a gift for Christmas. And they're going to say it's your birthday gift. Shreen's actually been talking to me about that because we're talking about baby number 2.
Heyo.
Just like potential and all that stuff. And what is it? So if we would get pregnant soon, she's like, no, because then it's going to be a January baby. And I was like, so? She's like, well, it's going to be cold and everyone's going to be sick and it's going to be too close to Christmas and all these things. I'm like, you're just not ready. Like,
there's a lot of reasons.
These are, in my opinion, silly reasons.
Yeah, they're not good reasons.
Yeah.
Love you, Shreen.
Yeah.
I was, I think I told you this crazy part is when we got Annabelle, we were talking about having another baby.
Oh, I don't think you mentioned that.
Oh, well, we were like planning on it. Like we were going to start trying to have a baby. And then we got the call. We're like, oh, let's pump the brakes. But my thing was always, let's have a baby like November, December time, so that you get the tax benefits for that year. you get the tax benefits for that year.
That is pretty funny.
And great, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, there you go. My brother Ben's November.
Oh yeah.
I was just thinking this morning, I don't know why, about all of my siblings and parents' birthdays. And I always had to memorize, and then there were a couple this morning. I was like, wait, which day is it? And it was bothering me because I have 6 siblings and my mom and my dad. So that's 8 right there. And then a couple nephews that I'm the godfather of. So it's like, and then Shereen, September 5th. I don't know. September 5th.
Is it September 5th?
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. And it's 1992. I am younger than her.
Ew.
By half a year.
She's robbing the cradle.
She really is. She's got youth. Yeah, I'm giving her youth.
Giving her youth. I struggle with, this is going to sound terrible, I struggle with remembering my kids' birthdays. Like leading up to, it's never like I'm going to ever forget their birthday. But like forms and stuff are hard.
Mm.
Like, because they're also, that's why I got them tattooed. You know, I got them tattooed.
Oh my,
So I have my anniversary and my kids' birthdays.
All men should do that.
I'll have Annabelle's and added there. It's so handy when you're filling out forms.
I bet.
But like anniversary is 10, 17, 15.
There you go.
Sophia is 9, 18, 16. And Titus is 10, 15, 18. So they're all like right around there.
Yeah.
So it gets confusing.
Yeah, there's a lot of teens in there.
There's a lot of teens.
I'd get confused too.
So it's hard remembering all those dates.
Yeah.
Life's hard. Don't do it alone.
I did have a little bit of a breakthrough recently.
Let me hear it.
I was thinking about, what's the purpose of life and stuff.
Wow.
It's pretty deep.
That is deep.
About as deep as it gets.
Yeah. Did you figure it out?
No.
Oh.
But a couple of things. So I recently went through like a pretty severe like depressive episode again. And it's weird because now I feel fine. I would say I actually feel good. Like I'm not just putting on a face for the podcast. Like I feel happy today. I'm in a good mood. All these
and
things.
like a matter of
and when I feel like this, it genuinely is like I'm a different person. And I don't know if it probably is like the hormonal dopamine, whatever's going on in your brain. But when I feel like this, which I have before, I'm like, oh, that'll never happen again because I feel good. Yeah. So I'm like, I'll never be depressed again.
Yeah. I'll be happy now.
Yeah. But then I came back like, was that yesterday or Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Tuesday. Like Monday and Tuesday was rough. And then ended up talking to Ben on the phone for a while. Yeah. And like I got to the point where I was able to like kind of get out all of the stress and struggles and stuff that I was feeling.
It's awesome.
That a lot of times we're not able to do because we don't want to burden people or we don't think we have anybody that'll listen, stuff like that. But I got a lot of it off my chest and I felt a lot better. And one big thing that he said that helped me a lot was your dream can change. Like,
wow.
Like you don't, like for you, like let's say you were just like, man, I can't do this pastor thing anymore. But it was your dream forever, right? Since you were a kid and you saw your dad and your brother and stuff like that. And then if you really dug deep, you found out like the source of my stress and struggling and is that I'm not doing what I should be doing. It's okay for your dream to change. Like you could hang up your coat, hang up your hat, go do something different. Like it's not the end of the world. We're still young. Like we could do 3 more careers, And I think just coming to terms with that of being a possibility, like took a big load off.
Totally.
Of like, oh, I'm not like forced to do what I really, really wanted to do 3 years ago. Does that make sense?
Totally.
And I was like, man, it was a little bit of freedom there.
Yeah.
Like a deep breath, like a sigh, like, oh, like I could. I don't plan on it right now.
Because that is the mentality. That
like I'm stuck here.
I'm doing this. I'm committed to this for the rest of my life.
Well, like, could you imagine like a musician like Ed Sheeran or something who's just like a huge music, or Taylor Swift or something like that. And they're just like, this is the source of all the bad things in my life. Yeah. But they feel like, well, I can't not do this anymore because this is all that I've ever worked on. Like, but they could. Yeah. Anybody could.
Yeah. They could get a job at Home Depot or something.
Seriously, right? They probably have enough money. They'd be fine. Yeah.
Buy a couple Home Depots.
Yeah, buy a couple for sure. But yeah, so that helped me a lot. And then...
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's like seriously freeing,
right?
And
I'd never put it in those thoughts before, so that was great. Yeah.
And so then, when and if you come to that term of this is what I'm doing, it's not I'm doing this because I have to, but rather I'm doing this because I want to. Right,
and it can be the same day. No, it could be the same stuff you're doing every single day, but your perspective on it is like, I have to do this. I have no choice. I'm forced to, whatever is exhausting, draining, takes your energy. You're lethargic, you're sad, you're angry, bitter, all those things versus I don't have to do this, but I get to. I have the opportunity to. And it's like, oh, cool. Like this is a good thing now. Yeah. So just that perspective flip is awesome.
Yeah, that's huge.
And then another thing that was huge for me, like I almost got choked up saying it, is I never really took a step back and like looked at what I've done so far and gave myself credit because if I would rewind 3 years and I was like, my dream is to start a gym. my dream is to impact people's lives, hopefully change people's lives in a good way. And then ultimately get to like 100 gym members. Like those are my 3 main things. I opened a gym. I've had at least probably 30 people tell me I changed their life in a positive way, whether personally or through letters or things like that, which means there are probably actually more who just didn't say anything. But those people, like, it means a lot when they actually tell me. Like, that's heavy and really awesome. And we recently, like, we've been flirting with 100 members. I've got like 102, and then people leave. It's been like 90, whatever. But I hit all the things that 3 years ago, Pete was like, this is my dream.
Yeah.
And
like,
I never.
If you accomplish this.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing it.
But I'm so into the day to day, like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, that I never once was like, dude, you are living your dream right now. And it like hit me like a wave of like, I never took a second to be like, dude, you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, you own your own gym, changing people's lives. Like you got the membership that you wanted.
Yeah. But
we keep always pushing the ceiling higher. And it's always more money, more whatever, more. That I'm like, I'm currently doing it. I know I said that like 10 times already, but like, I never patted myself on the back, never was like, Pete, whoa. Like, and then that goes back to kind of the perspective of it, of your day-to-day life, of the grind, more versus, dude, I'm living my dream. And that dream can change. Yeah. It doesn't have to be what it was 3 years ago.
Your goals can change too. Like
and they should.
They can, I mean, but like, so a goal when I came to the church was to have a certain amount in attendance. That's not a goal for me anymore. And I think that's okay personally.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Is there like part of your ego that's like, Mark, it really should be part of our goal, that's like nagging you? Or are you okay with completely releasing that being a goal and focusing on something else?
Again, my struggle is like, there's part of me that's like, Mark, it should be a goal because everybody says it should be a goal.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like, I assumed that was part of it.
Yeah.
Which is annoying.
It's super annoying.
Because you want to be able to completely, like, if you're fine with it not being a goal, it would be nice to just completely detach from that.
Yeah.
But I assume that there's still that little voice being like, you should really make this one of your priorities.
Yeah, totally. Because again, like, because that's what other people think.
Yeah.
That's how other people will view me as successful, is if I match their goals.
Right.
Yeah. And that sucks because that's a constant thing of like, I mean, it just happened the other day. Someone asked me, so what are you guys at? And like, I have to like phrase it and like reform the question as to like, that's not what I'm prioritizing. I'm not prioritizing our attendance. Like, that's not my goal. That's not my metric. And it's different, and it's hard to be confident in your goals rather than just taking the goals of other people. But I mean, when you have good goals, good solid goals for what you're trying to accomplish, I mean, you have to have those times of review where you're like, how did I do?
Yeah.
And you're killing it, man.
Thanks, man.
You're killing
that. It's just, I think most people don't stop and give themselves credit. Anybody. Most people don't. And I think we also forget where we were and what we wanted to do 5 years ago. Yeah. Or even 2 years ago or whatever, in the past. And then like, okay, well, what would, 20-year-old Pete think about 29-year-old Pete? Like, you're living right by your family. You're seeing them all the time. You got a beautiful wife and a kid. That's phenomenal. And you own your own gym with like close to 100 members. Yeah. Like, what?
You've made it, man.
Why are you sad? Why? There's no reason to be sad, right? And it's just, I think just like checking in on your goals and auditing how you've been doing. Yeah. I think it's also important to go back and be like, which is kind of similar, but also different, going back to your past self. Yeah. And be like, what would they think of where I'm at right now? Yeah. Because A lot of people, I think that your younger self would be more proud of where you are today than you're giving yourself credit for.
Yeah.
Like even you just saying like right now, my goal isn't attendance. It's like, I feel like past Mark would be really proud of you.
Like, wow, you can say that?
For even like getting there, right? And like making that not your priority anymore. Like I think that's a big step.
Yeah.
I also had another thought that I want to say before I forget it on that point. And this relates to a lot of stuff, but people asking you like, how's attendance doing?
Yeah.
I also think that puts a lot of like pressure on you and stress on you for like answering that. And it probably annoys you and bothers you.
Yeah.
I don't think that those people asking, the majority of them actually really probably care.
Yeah.
And they're probably, it's almost just like, hey, where are you going to college?
Totally.
You know, or like, how's work going? And the problem is, in my opinion, that you then take the weight of that question and feel like people care.
Yeah.
When if you back up, they don't care. They're asking that question to fill up conversation.
Yeah.
It's like saying, how are the kids? Oh, how many people are, how's people ask me the same thing. How's the gym going?
Yeah.
And you want to give them it's successful and it's, you know, all these metrics like you mentioned.
Yeah.
They don't actually care, first of all.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now we're putting weight on ourselves, on our ego, stress of like, oh, all these people care about these metrics in my life. So now I need to make that a priority, even though they didn't care in the first place.
They don't care. Yeah.
So it's like, it's all messed up. Like if they didn't ask, they just asked something else like, hey, how you been? Like, tell me what's going on with you. Yeah. And they're like, oh, I don't care. But what are your goals? Are you working towards them? Like that way, which is what they actually probably care about. Yeah. You know, most people. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah. Totally. And I mean, and I know what they're trying to communicate is just like, how's the church going?
Yeah.
Is it going well?
Yeah.
Is it a healthy church?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But I take it to mean so much more.
I do too. And its perspective becomes reality. Mm-hmm. So you perceive that they meant it as they care about it. So now your reality is everybody cares about how many people are attending church. Yeah. When that might not be reality at all. Yeah. Which is wild. Yeah. Brains are weird, dude. And the thing is, we can even talk about this. We can talk about this and realize it's a thing. Yeah. And it almost doesn't even matter.
Tonight, when someone asks me how many people are at church, I'm like,
yeah. Dude, that's so weird. Yeah. I keep wanting to like touch my nose to this.
Because it's soft.
Yeah, it's really soft.
Keeps tickling my beard hairs.
I hope did you test it for the pops?
No, I didn't.
At all? I'm just wondering.
Test it? You want to test it?
Well, do you have the headphones?
I do.
Are they plugged in? I'm just curious right now. So let's do some pop.
Oh no, that's good.
Is it okay? Is it?
Yeah, no, that you can't hear.
I was just wondering how comparable it is.
Sibilance. That's amazing.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah. Okay, cool.
They seem to be working well.
Cool.
What I'm curious about is like how much noise these make when we move them.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Oh, we'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're still learning. We got till episode 21.
At a
minimum.
So our goal is like 22, and then like
22, and then
we'll see what happens after that.
And we're done. If we don't have a brand deal with like Columbia, I'm sure.
I think that one's gone.
I think Columbia will be reaching out to us. Maybe not.
Maybe to redesign their logo.
Maybe.
Every time we upload the podcast, it asks for like, what season is it?
What season? Yeah. Oh, a season of the podcast?
Yeah.
I don't know podcasts had seasons.
Apparently they do.
Okay, well, when does season 1 end?
I don't know. Keep going.
Whenever we want?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was like a year
Are we doing themes? Are we doing themes per season?
I don't know. When does summer start?
June 20th.
Change with the seasons.
Yeah, I guess. Like an actual season?
4 seasons.
That makes sense.
I
don't know.
There's also the other thing we should do. This doesn't need to be on the podcast, but there's an option to do a trailer. I don't know what we'd do for a trailer.
Would we just like cut clips of different episodes?
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
And then
I figured it would just be like us talking about like what is a work in progress? What do we talk about?
Oh, sure.
For like 2 minutes.
Yeah. That works
too. I don't know how you summarize what we talk about though.
We talk about everything.
Yeah.
And nothing.
I mean, and just today we've talked about.
Yeah. Well, we touch on religion.
Yeah.
We touch on like emotion.
Yeah.
Psychology.
Yeah.
We touch on friendship.
Yeah.
We touch on fatherhood.
Mhm.
We touch on careers,
Mhm.
family life, everything like comedy,
Mhm.
pop culture, music references,
Or movies.
movies you haven't seen that you need to rewatch.
This list is getting bigger and bigger. Peter.
So I'm just saying, we covered
You're already
quite.
at 10 things.
There's our trailer. We got it.
Listen for the next minute and a half
A work
as
in
to what we
progress.
talk about. On a
And
work
if
in
you're too
progress.
lazy to watch the full length feature, follow us on Instagram and TikTok and watch our clips
Yeah.
of all the short, fun laughs and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Peter does a great job editing those shorts. So watch them.
And a quick shout out to Jonas for always doing the audio.
Jonas edits our audio every time,
What's his
makes it
last
sound
name?
good. Maldonado.
Jonas Maldonado.
Maldonado. So if there are any or
Wow.
he's going to know.
Everyone just turned it off.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
about right. Well,
I think that's plenty.
yeah. Thanks for watching and being a part. If you guys don't mind, subscribe to
Yeah.
YouTube
Oh, yeah.
and like our stuff. I mean, you don't have to actually like it.
And if you
I hope
could-
you like it. But
And if you could share it, that's a huge help too.
Yeah.
Like if you do enjoy listening and this is helpful
Yeah.
and you know anybody that you think it would be helpful for, please share it with them because that's one of the biggest ways that we can grow is if you share this
Yeah.
and whatever platform you're watching it or listening to
Yeah.
it on. That's huge and we'd be extremely
Very
grateful. If nothing else, at least to let us know that we are doing something that people want to hear.
Mhm.
Like when people like a video or share a video,
It's
it's
affirmation.
not just like a dopamine hit of, oh, people liked it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what we're saying resonates with people.
Yeah. People can connect.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, then we can save on electricity and just not plug in anything.
Yeah, we just won't.
and just talk.
Just talk.
Like we used to.
Still sit in these chairs.
Right.
And
These
just have
chairs.
the conversation still.
We just don't tell anybody that we stopped recording them and we just keep everything set up. Feel like the Truman Show kind of thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it is right. So like we have one of our shorts is talking about like waking your dad up.
Oh, yeah.
And like it resonated with a lot of people. And like
Yeah.
it was crazy. Like
It blew
that was
up.
this experience that I thought that I just had of my dad.
Right.
And then you connect and I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And now a bunch of other people were like,
Yeah,
no,
there's like
it's the same way.
500,000 people watched it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
It's nuts.
And then there's like 100 views on everything else.
Yeah. But that one.
Yeah, but that one,
That one.
pretty cool.
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, participate with us. We love having you go on this journey with us.
Sweet.
Sweet. Love you guys.
Have an awesome day and stuff.
Bye.
Bye.
2,